Right, this season is not going the way I planned for it to go. So today we see a new tactic, completely new tactic that we've never used before this year. Hello and welcome to Season 14, Episode 3 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're at home against Cardiff and away against Bradford in League One. Since you were last with me, form has been really mixed, and I'm grumpy about it. We haven't lost a league game since the Swindon game back in early September, which, were you not here for that? I don't think you were, actually. I think you saw the Norwich game. So, we lost the next game. Since then, we have been unbeaten in the league, but certainly not spectacular in the league. And we've lost to AFC Wimbledon in the Checkatrade Nonsense Stupid Cup. So that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. As it stands right now, we're 6th in League One. We're 5 points off the top of the league. It's not a disaster. We can still get promoted from this situation. Don't want to be messing around with the playoffs. We should be winning the league. Automatic promotion of any kind will be fine. And it's obviously still doable. We're a quarter of the season through. But we're not dominating the way I hoped we would be. So I've had a long, hard look at my squad and decided on a tactic that I think will give us the defensive stability that we miss without sacrificing some of the attacking oomph. And this is what I've settled on. To me, our big weakness is our central midfield players. We've basically got two that are any good. We haven't got anyone who can play either at the base of the diamond or as a defensive midfielder in a midfield three. We obviously haven't got any wide players because I sold them all, but not having that defensive central midfield player means we're always almost playing with 10 men. So I thought, well, why bother? Why not just... We've got two very attacking fullbacks. I mean, Tony Miller he's a wing back who can play at right back, and Williams is very much a wing back as well. So we've got two proper wing backs, no defensive central midfielder, three good quality centre backs who wouldn't look out of place in the Championship. This just seems obvious. I mean, we don't have much in the way of centre-back backup. If we get an injury to any of these three, we're back to the drawing board a little bit because we don't have anything at all behind them. That's a massive priority for us going into the January transfer window in a couple of months' time, if we make it that far. If we don't start winning games consistently, we might not. But I don't know, it just looks like it works. I haven't tried it at all yet. I've literally, after that AFC Wimbledon game, I've sat and fiddled for like 20 minutes. It is completely unlike me. I never fiddle. You can see that we've even fiddled with some of the player instructions. We've gone for a deep line playmaker rather than a roaming playmaker. We've gone for a deep line forward and an attacking forward rather than a poacher and another. So I am trying to think a little bit about how these players combine together, how we turn it into a system. We're still going attacking, we're still structured. The team instructions are still unchanged. I wonder if we should change that off structured and go a little bit, I mean, even flexible maybe. No, we'll leave it unstructured for now. I don't really know why. I've never really understood this drop-down box, which is why I don't use it very often. But I hope that this is going to be a good system. We need something, because I feel like whatever we've tried so far this season has been promising at times, and they tend to look quite good going forward. But then when it comes to defending, we have massive wide open spaces, particularly at fullback. With Miller, either he's really, really effective going forward, but we're massively exposed at the back when he goes forward. Or he's just not much cop at either of them. He's not a defensive fullback, so if you ask him to just sit back and defend, he's not very good at it. And if you're not asking him to attack, there's not really any point in having him in the team. But look at that, he's just beaten two men. Yes, there was no end product, but he's basically going to be playing as a winger for us. He's on an attacking instruction, and hopefully the fact that we've got an extra centre-back in there just means we don't get caught with people coming in behind him too often. We've got one of them on cover, and here's Garcia. I mean, he hesitated a little bit there, and that's a really poor and weak shot. But I don't know, I like the thought of Miller just charging up and down this right wing area almost, and Williams playing a little bit deeper on the other side, and that's a nice little clearance from Williams, and I would have liked Mark Foote to chase that down a little bit more. Perhaps he should be a defensive forward, but Garcia finds the ball again. Opoku to O'Brien. Garcia's in and really should have done better. That's the best chance we've created for a game and a half. Oh, I'm enjoying it so far. It looks promising so far. What is a little bit alarming is the two central midfielders look shattered already after 20 minutes. Now, we've just had a long international break. I assume as they're both young, talented Premier League players on loan with us, I guess they went away for internationals. I didn't actually check. So I'm hoping that's what it is, and it's not the fact that because there's only two of them in there, they're working so hard. We're going to need fresh midfielders on every half an hour. We'll keep an eye on that. Duxbury as well is another option who can just drop out and play in that wing back on the other side if we wanted to go really, really attacking. And basically, it would become a 3-5-2 rather than the 5-3-2. But just have Miller and Duxbury as proper wide, almost wingers who do a bit of defending. That's there as an option as well. Opoku has made it 1-0 with half an hour on the clock. Look at the effect that has on the league table. It's shot us up to third place, only 2 points off the top of the league. That's exactly the kind of thing that we need. Let's just not mess it up from here, because the other thing is I have been training a defensive version of the 4-3-1-2. It's basically a 4-1-3-2, actually, reverse it round a little bit, since pre-season, trying to be clever. Use it where it's appropriate, but we don't have a defensive version of this system. So if I'm trying to become a proper tactician, we probably need to work on that. But first we need to decide if this is the tactic that we're going to use going forward. And at the moment, I tentatively like it. I mean, where are Cardiff? Okay, so Cardiff are top of the league. That sheds a slightly different light on it, because I was looking at those stats thinking, well, we're not exactly dominating. But then you look at where Cardiff are in the league, we're not supposed to be dominating, and they're certainly not. They're not looking like the team running away with League One at the moment. So that's a positive. It would be interesting to see how it works against a lesser team. I like the fact we've had 2 clear-cut chances, they've had none. I'm less comfortable with the fact we've had such a small percentage of the possession, but I could live with not having much possession if we win the league. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Right, Duxbury is not having a very good game. McGregor's going to come on for him, and then we're also going to bring on Raffoley for Garcia. Should we swap those two around? No, just leave it as it is. And see if we can get a little bit more creative spark up front. Looking at that, I really should have taken O'Brien off as well. He's shattered, just like Duxbury was. But, of course, I've left O'Brien on. He'll probably be the reason we can see the goal. O'Brien, though, finds McGregor to foot. Oh, Opoku was in again. I like the fact that he's creating little pockets of space for himself. He's got a new lease of life with the fact that we've got the more attacking players out wide who are distracting bits of the defence for him as well. Foot's dropped very deep here. Finds O'Brien. Ball over the top to Raffoley. Can he finish? He cannot. It's turned around the post. We have a corner. McGregor to take, cross comes in, doesn't beat the first man. McGregor tries again it doesn't beat the first man. Is that our Hull striker from when we were at Plymouth? There's a striker called Hull. What was his first name? Craig, the hero of Hull, but there was no heroes because we lost. Right, I've talked several times about taking O'Brien off. Let's actually do it now, and Lara can come on and play in that deep line playmaker role for these last 10 minutes. Should we be... I know we should be changing the tactic now, but we haven't trained it. We have no idea what we're doing. I don't know what to do, but they are top of the league. Can Opoku play in this midfield at all? That's okay, so he can be an advanced playmaker. And then let's drop our defensive line back a little bit. Lower the tempo a little bit. Retain possession. Go defensive. Don't know if that's a combination of things that works, but what's this? Oh, that's okay. That's something different. That's fine. But we'll try it. If it doesn't work, I blame you lot, because, you've been nagging at me to do things like that for ages. Well, there you go. I've just done a thing like that. Let's hope it works, because this will be a massive, massive result if it works. But I hate the fact that it just invites them to come at us. But Raffoley's got the ball now. We've a little bit of space to run into, but loses out, and Roberts intercepts. So finds Opoku out to Miller. Just run out wide. He finds Raffoley. Can he cross the foot? He can, and Foot really should have finished. That would have put the game beyond doubt. But instead, Cardiff are attacking at us again. Kevin Thompson has had a very good game today. Yes, they've only had one clear-cut chance, but he's controlled that 6-yard box, at least, maybe not the whole penalty area, but he's looked very safe. And really shouldn't be talking about how safe the keepers looked at the end of the match when that could happen. And would it have happened if we hadn't changed the tactic? Do we change the tactic back now? This is why I hate fiddling with the tactics. It's just a ball lumped over the top that... everything that I'd been enjoying about what we were doing, everything that was good, went wrong there. Right, it seems so pointless going back to attacking at this point. But we will. Ridiculous. I am really interested in your thoughts on the tactical change down in the comments, because I think I'm completely vindicated by what's just happened there. I've always refused to do that. I'd do it in what was a massive game that we were controlling, and we just stopped controlling it. And then we threw away 2 points. Let me know down in the comments what just happened. Right, I'm sticking with the tactic because I think it was working fine until we messed it up by fiddling with it. So no more messing with tactics mid-game. We attack all the way through. And then if we lose, so what? At least we tried to win. A couple of changes, just purely because it's only a couple of days since the last game. We've swapped the strikers over to try and find a combination that works. I don't think Foot and Garcia really does. I think Foot's probably the problem that we need to get out of the club. But there's that whole £10 million value thing weighing on me. That, still valued at £10 million. We can't not play him. I'd quite like even half of that. At this point, I'd take £5 million for him. He doesn't fit into our team, which is weird because he was so good for us last year. And Raffoli comes in as well because Garcia, after his little purple patch that he started out with, has been a little bit poor in recent weeks. So these two have, who cares about weather? Mark Foot didn't look sharp. Let's actually say he didn't look sharp. I usually just say, I'm resting them. Don't worry, I don't want to upset them. But yeah, Mark Foot genuinely doesn't look sharp. Obviously, I don't turn up for training. That's something for the people who wear tracksuits to work to handle. I'm very much a suit man. But he says wearing a tracksuit top. But he's just not looked sharp in recent games. So I think that's reason in and of itself to drop him from the team. But let's hope that we... Oh, for goodness sake. I'm going to get fired. Should I just go back to the 4-3-1-2? Bearing in mind it's not really been working and we don't have a third central midfielder to really make it work. We don't have a central midfielder who can play defensively. It's the big thing that they just didn't come up over the summer. Those of you who are new to the channel, I don't use the player search. Don't ask me to. I won't. I just have to deal with the players that come up on scout reports, and no defensive central midfield players came up on the scout reports. No, I say no. One did. Aaron Cool. He's 33. He's slow. He's not really got it anymore. I think he's suspended or injured at the moment. But that was the best I could find, which is why we signed him. But there's 4 minutes on the clock and we're already 2-0 down. Bradford are below us in the league. Yes, we looked good against Cardiff doing this at home. Perhaps it's not a system that's going to work away from home. Perhaps this has just been a really freak start to today's match. We did have more clear-cut chances than Cardiff in the last game. There were so many positives to take out of that. I mean, at the moment, Bradford have had 2 shots, 2 goals. Neither of them have been a clear-cut chance. It does look like it's just been one of those sort of freak starts to a football match. But to be 2-0 down after 4 minutes when you are struggling for form, struggling to bed in a new system, it really makes it hard to come back from and get on with the rest of the game. And heads are dropping. Raffoli should have done better and kept hold of that a little bit. And Williams is now going to get himself sent off because he's a left back, and we haven't had our left back sent off for ages. So it's about time we had that happen. There's only 7 minutes on the clock as well, so it will mess things up completely. It's his last chance already after 7 minutes. I don't think he's been booked, which is weird. That's the universal indication for a last chance. He's out there again, though, going to make the same foul again. And there's just nothing I can do about it. We're just being absolutely hammered by a team playing with a little bit of width. Perhaps this wing-back system can't handle wingers, because we've got 3 centre-backs marking 1 striker, and then our full-backs have pushed on and their wingers are just standing behind them. And no one's picking up the wingers, so they've just got all the space in the world. As you can see from that shot there, look at all that space those 2 players have got. I can see where the problems are. I don't know how to fix them. Perhaps I shouldn't have sold all our wide players, but to be 3-0 down after 12 minutes and defending this poorly, I think this is probably the final time we do the 3 at the back experiment, because it just doesn't work. I mean, we're 4-0 down now. Kevin Thompson's got an own goal. That's not going to make things better, is it? I mean, what kind of nonsense has gone on for this to be an own goal? He comes out, tries to... I mean, I don't even know. I just can't work out what he's done there. He had such a good game in the last game, and he's just been terrible today. Right, well, that was... No, not that. Just let's go back to normal. Let's just play the way we play. And it's like sometimes I just get caught in a loop, and it's so frustrating. But we're just going to play the way we know how to play. There we go. And if we end up losing football matches, who cares? Who's been the worst defender? It is Pal, so Duxbury can come on for him. And we'll do that. If I get sacked playing the 4-3-1-2, I get sacked playing the 4-3-1-2. But at least we don't get humiliated the way we've been in that first half, or destroyed psychologically the way we were in those last few minutes against Cardiff. You've seen me fiddle. You've seen me try and be tactical. But now it's getting desperate at this point. We're out of the playoff spots now. We need to sort our lives out. Duxbury's going to have to drop back to left back. Gajovic can come on. Number one priority for January is to sign a defensive midfield player. Not a defensive midfield player, a midfield player who can play defensively. Basically, we just want a central midfielder who's a little bit mobile and can tackle a bit, because that's the one thing we're missing to stop this tactic from working. I think we need to get rid of the players who don't want to be here. That never helps a situation like this. The fact we've got Roberts and Foot and a few of us, McGregor I think is another one, they're all players who've decided they don't want to be at the club. So as soon as we get any kind of adversity like this, they just give up and they don't care. We should not be conceding 4 goals all season at this level. Duxbury started that move from the seated position. That's how you take a free kick with confidence, sitting down until the referee's whistle goes. But when you're 4-0 down away from home, it has less of the arrogant swagger about it. That's it. I've decided we're going back to 4-3-1-2. We're going to play it come hell or high water. And if it doesn't work and I get fired, it doesn't work and I get fired. And then I'll pack everything I own into a duffel bag and head into Europe and see what happens. Because I won't be able to show my face in English football again after that. Yes, we can get back up there, but we're not going to do it faffing about with tactics. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.